So, can you assist my screen?
Yes, I see a screen. Deepali, first of all, well, I remember. Do you remember our first session? And you showed me the Word file with the different scenarios, landscape scenarios.
Which one? Which scenario?
Um, yes, the first lesson, you showed me the file with different landscape scenarios, how
Okay,
CAR
yeah,
can be
yeah, yeah,
installed.
yeah, yeah.
Can
Yes.
you send me this file also?
Yeah, yeah, sure. I'll send you. That's like you want the landscape scenario, right?
Okay, yes. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. I'll share you. I'll share you. I have a like a you can say a zip file with lot of document, and that document also included. I just whatever I shared you, it is just you can say a part of that document. Still, lot of document pending. I have to share with you after today's session. I'll share you all this.
Thank you.
Okay, so we can
Okay, yeah.
start now. Yeah. So yesterday, like last session, just I'm logging to FMS system and password. Yeah, this one. Mm. Yes. So in SPRO, we started configuration of you can say the DDF module of you can say the data replication framework in ECC in FMS. We already started, and something some part was left there. So today we will complete that portion, and then we start configuration of car system also. So I think you remember the path logical general, logistic general.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
I
then
remember.
yeah, then we have to go monetize life cycle optimization. Then we have to go outbound. Here we already configured define technical setting. We already configured the technical setting, the business system we configured here properly. Let me check once. Yeah, it is there, that DDF car is there. Now it was defined replication method. Here we started
As
defined
I
replication.
remember, yes, we defined replication model, and
Yes.
the last we did, it was quite a boring task
Yeah, yeah.
where we need to assign one by one parameters,
Right,
as I
right,
remember.
right, right. Let me
Mhm.
check once. I have to go back. First, I need to check this one. Then outbound implementation. Then one by one, I have to assign. I have to check the sequence also. Let me check. Target system, this one. I think, yeah, it's already done. Target system. Then this one is left, I think. It is also done. PPLT. Pause. It's done. PSPR, it's also done. So we think we completed this one. PB vendor, it is also done. Yeah, I think it's we already completed. Then we started outbound parameter assignment. It's done. With here again we have to done. Yeah, now it's new entries. 3 we have to assign one by one. Save this. And all this is standard. We don't need to do anything. We just need to select this parameter, and we have to assign for each and every one, every outbound implementation.
All the same parameters without any
Yeah,
difference.
yeah, yeah. All have the same parameters, and all this is standard.
Mhm.
All have the same parameters. You know, no need to define this parameter. This parameter also standard, and for same for each and every outbound, you can say implementation. And you just let me control Y back. we just need to assign this one, and it is a, you can say, manual process. We can't do like a select all outbound parameter and then come back. No, we can't. We have to again go back. It is a PMCH, and when we finally activate, going to activate our replication model, if anything missing, then it will show you an error, and you have to go back and you have to assign again this one. After yeah, it's like we forget to mention this one because one by one manual process, so you no need to think anything. System will show you error like you forget to mention this one, so you need to come back and need to assign all this parameter. PMPL is off this one. So here does not exist in, there's something is missing here, I think. Let me check. Yeah, for this one it is not mentioned. So it is not for this one, we don't have, so we need to cancel this one and then save, because for this outbound information we can see this two only exist. So you need to select this one, and you can say all this is standard. We can't do anything with this. It's a standard. We can't do anything. If you F4 here extra, but our work is only this one. You are from which country?
Ukraine.
Okay.
Kiev. And now I work in Kiev and live in Kiev.
Okay, okay.
And where are you from?
I am from India.
Is it hot here in India?
No, it's already started. You can say I am from north side part, so it's here started already 9 degrees, sometime 8 degrees, but not more than that. So in
9 degrees, not very hot.
For you it's a very hot, but for us it's a very cold, because generally you can say when we face in hot summer, it is near about 42 degree, and sometime like you can say 45 degrees.
Wow. I even can't imagine 45 degrees. Yes,
yeah,
for us it would be very hot.
Yeah, it's very hot. And
yes, when we have 35 degrees, it happens not very often in summer, but very sometimes. It's quite difficult to stay outside. And 45, I even can't imagine.
Yeah, it's in summer. You can say April, May time. You can't outside the home. You can't go in daytime. It's very hot here. In daytime, it's very hot, sweating. You can't stay without AC. Always full time air condition is there. In car, in home, in office, all areas fully air conditioned. Without this, you can't go outside.
And in which part of year do you have 55 degrees, for example? Oh, not 25, but 25 degrees.
25 degree in India, you want to ask me?
Yes. And which part of year?
You can say when it's October or November, it was 25. Now today you can say also in daytime it was 25 degree, and still we use sweaters, gloves, socks, because we want to feel the winter. So today in December it's also 25 degree, but in morning it was 9 degree, near about 10 degrees. Yeah.
So as for us, for people from our climate, I think October is the best time for visiting northern India.
Yes, actually. Even you heard the story about Justin Bieber. We came here around April, I think June. You know Justin Bieber, the singer, great singer. So he was in Mumbai last June, July, and he can't completed the show, stage show. It was so hot. It was on that time, May, April. It was, I think, near about 45, 40. So it's a tough time. So here you can see. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. We just finished to define this parameters.
Yeah. So again, we are back in our configuration. So here you can see I define the each and every for the each and every outbound implementation. We have to define target system like CAR system, and then your parameter one by one we already configure. Now go back to main area.
Excuse me. And what is assigned download? And I can see.
We don't have to do any. No, we don't have to do anything with this. It's not for any use. So
and assign language. Do we need to assign any language?
If you want to assign any other language for that use, but basically we prefer English and as a standard language. So that's why you can say we prefer the system language, whatever the standard system language we use. Maybe it's any other language, your system language, we prefer that language. So we don't have to do anything with this configuration or this configuration. Our focus is this one, outbound implementation, target system, and then outbound parameter. Then now you have to come back. You have to, and before that, before activation, you need to check. Go back and need to check define business setting. This is one-time activity. I already used this one previously. That's why I didn't no need to again. I have to assign. What is that? Business object type for each and every. You can see this implementation, like each and every outbound implementation, there is a business object. Business object board, business object repository, whatever the for you can say for sales, for the material, the business, there is a different business object in system, and all this is standard. So this outbound implementation is a standard implementation, and if you go detail on that, you can see that here is a path also. I can remember the path. If you go back, here is a total path. You can see here like detail of each and every business object, and also you need to assign this one. In documentation, I maintain all these are business object. This one, which one you have to maintain here, and all these are standard for that your outbound implementation. You need to maintain the business object type and message type. All this is standard for your data application. So this is one-time activity for your system, and I have mentioned this one in documentation so that it will be easy for you to find out which one you have to maintain. So yeah.
And what is the meaning of this business object? What is business object, for example, 194?
Yeah, like yeah, you can say there is a T code also. I can remember the T code, but like you can remember for each and every module, there's a different business object. Like for SD, for MM, for FI, there is a different business object is available in system. I can remember the T code. There's a T code where you can open each and every business object, and this business object contain the detail of the field of the you can say the SPRO configuration detail, each and everything that business object will contain. I will find that T code. I will find and I will show you. So this business object is basically is a like contain the different field for all the SD module, for all the material module, for all the FI module, but the name of this module will be different business object name. So we need to we just mentioned this one. Even I'm not one more thing, there's a workflow. The person, the consultant who work with workflow, it's a workflow consultant they call. They are generally use that business object. Like for PO, purchased order, there's a different business object. Like you can say for sales order, there's a different business object. So like you need to trigger, you need to you want whenever a PO is created, mail will be triggered to your or manager or sales head or purchase order department head, someone you need, like whenever PO is created, mail will be triggered. So how you fulfill this work? So you have to contact with workflow consultant, and they like use the business object for PO for each and every business, like PO, SO for sales order. There is a different business object, and if there is a requirement like mail will be triggered and anything, then you need to work with your workflow consultant, and they use generally the business object. So this is basically business object use, or you can say we can use this business object to push the data, to push the detail. You can get the detail of this data. You can enhance the business object also. So it's a you can say it's a huge area, business object. Because there is a lot of work with business object, but our work is here is just you can say need to mention this type and message type for our application. This is standard, and this is provided by SAP, because you know for each and every standard, IDOC is standard, you have to use like bond tab. Here you can see this business object type also, or we have to mention as standard as per standard guidance from SAP. We have to use this one, then we can able to use replicate the data. Else if you don't use here anything, if you leave it as blank, then when we going to activate our data replication method, it will should give you some error. So that's why it's a path, you need to mention this one. And what is business object, you can say what is BO. There's a huge business object repository, BOR we call. There's a huge area actually. Even I am not work properly on that area. So it's basically for different module. It's a different business object we generally use. Now after maintaining here, you have to go back again into your replication method. Now select this one. Now activate this one. Let's see what error or success we get, then we'll check. Yeah.
Oh, it was activated. Yes.
Yeah, it's activated with green signal. You can say all are fine, no error is there. And sometimes what happened, like that's why I told you when I started with fresh system, we didn't mention the business object type here, settings here. I leave it as blank. I forgot to mention here, and then I started replication method activation process here. Then after click the button, it will show me some error, and then after analyze, I found out like the error was like I forgot to mention the business setting. That's why It was one-time activity, so you need to mention this one. And in document, like 1940 business type object type is for article related, whatever the detail you can find here. This is for location. So this is for you can see these are the different message type, and all the business object will be triggered when we call the DRF out. Now I will show you one thing. So remember this one, you have to mention all this part. So when we are going to replicate, when we start replication, you have to trigger DRF out T code. And if you F4 here, now we can see ZDF DDF card, this, because it is activated. And here you can see here other we need to go back, different replication model. Here other two things also here, DDF, SAP PMR, whatever, but it is not shown in here. Why? In
Because
F4
they are not activated, yes?
Yes. So it is mandatory, like you have to activate it without any error. All are in green. If any red is marked there, it will not activate, and you have to find out what will be the error, what is the error. So to activate this without error, then it will be show, you can see this in here in F4. So
Deeply, may I ask you one question?
sure.
On the screen where the list of our replication models, we have not DRF out, but other screen. I saw such field log days or something like that. What does it mean?
Right. Here log days means you can see this here. This one log days.
Yes, log days.
Yes. Yeah. So like after execution DRF out, there is some log will be you can see like there is an error if there's some article will be fail, if there is an issue, if no data found, anything, there's a log exit, or you can say all these are properly replicated, this message also will be there. So you have to go back to, there is a T code W10T, I think. Then logistic, here is a path, retailing, let me check. Here is a path where you have to you can see all this log. I can't remember the path properly, let me check. Logistic control, maybe let me go back again. So log days means how many days that log will be contained there, still how many days. So you can say, sorry,
is this log big, or for example,
sorry?
Is this log quite long? What amount of information it stores?
Yeah, see, like you select here like 7 days log days will be 7 days, and per day, like per day you prefer this DRF owl will be executed, data replication process trigger each and every day, today, tomorrow, each and every day. Or we prefer generally end of day, like end of week, like Friday, or start of week like Saturday. We generally prefer this one, or sorry, it's Monday. So I'm giving you an example, like Monday, your each week Monday your data replication generated, data replication process, like whenever a new data is created, it will be replicated, and you set the DRF out in background job. Background job trigger each and every Monday, first week of the day, Monday. Now after application complete everything, you can see there is a like a record, that log, like which is success, which is error, which is in warning state, whatever the message you can see after DRF out, you can see that one also. How many data, how many product replicated properly, amount of failed product or article, how many article is failed, you can see that portion also. So whatever the logs, whatever the logs you got on Monday, you can see this full log till 7 day, because you mention here as a 7 day. So you can see that log detail till 7 day. After 8 days, like after 7-8 number days, you can't see that log. So that's why.
Is this log erased automatically after 7 days?
Yes.
Or we should, so we don't need to erase it manually? Yes?
No, you don't need to do anything manually. It will be automatically removed from your system. Again, when you execute it, your DRF out, then only you can see again the logs still 7 days. So
and where, and where can I see this log? For example, if I have
yes, here is a path. WT10, W10T is the T code, and here I forgot it's a path like a logistic, then retailing, I think. Here here's a path actually. So under you can say this is the type of SPRO. Or a T code. There's also T code also, that DRF out or DRF IMG, not IMG. There is a something. I will find this one. I forgot this one where actually. So you need to mention. You directly can go here, and you can see the detail of the logs. When you execute after configuration, I will show you this part also, because we need. I'll show this part also, because I forgot the path, you can say. Retailing, I think. Then just 1 minute, distributed. Yeah, here I got it. This outbound. Here you can see DRF log is the T code.
DRF log.
Yeah. Here when you execute, you can see you have to give the your application model. Execute your application model also here. This one. So you need to give it execute, and from to it's set by system, or you can set for yourself also, because it's only you don't know when DRF this application model executed last, you don't know. So you can select start date and from date here, like you don't know where when it was executed. And if you don't have any information, then you can choose the first week days, like first day of that week, and then last day, like Monday to Sunday you can select, or you can see 1 month data, you can see this, you can put the detail and you can execute. It's your choice. So here after execution you can see that parts also. And one more thing, if you want to select, if you want to see each and every data one by one, like for article, for material, we already configure all this in our replication method, and you want to see one by one data detail, like log detail. You don't want to see all this. If you execute selecting this, it will show you all detail. And if you want to see a specific outbound information, you can see this one also. But remember, it will be only for 7 days, because you mention here as a 7 days. If you mention 1 days, then it will be show you for 1 days. System will remove all this by because as per your choice, you can see these log days. So it's depend on the requirement. Generally we prefer 7 days data, log data, because each and every week we execute DRF out T code data replication. So that's why we prefer only 7 days data will be contained by system. After that it will be removed, then it will be saved by system after 7 days. So 7 days here is only how many days your log will be contained by system. How many days your system, your ECC system, retail FMS system contain the log detail.
Okay,
Well,
okay, okay, understood. Yes.
yeah, you got this?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So this is the path, or directly you can go DRF log. This is a T code like DRF out. So here you can see we configured properly, we activate properly, and for our all 5 DDF module, everything is same from your ECC part, from your FMS retail part. It is mandatory portion, by choice is your which module you are going to use under DDF module, maybe OPP, maybe UDF, maybe in any module, but this step is mandatory, whatever you are going to. Okay, so we done from our ECC system. Just remember the path and the step which you have to configure. We don't need to do anything with this SPRO here. We already configured. Now we just need to check with a CAR system where we have to configure our DDF module. Now I think this part is clear to you.
And one more question. Do we need to perform the data replication from DRF out transaction? Or we need to perform some configurations on the CAR side before replication?
Yes. I'm just going to show you. CAR side, you also need to configure. You also need to configure for DDF module. I'm just going to show you. We need to configure CAR side also.
Okay.
Okay, so this part is complete. Like this things we have to do for your ECC side. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm go back to CAR system. Here we also have to configure for DDF module. Go to SPRO. Now SAP Customer Activity Repository. Here we already configure POS DTA, multi-channel, and data is coming. You just think real time data started coming into your CAR system from POS system. Sorry. So now you are able to use Demand Data Foundation. Open this. Here you can see basic setting. And one more thing, system connection is already done from cards. Here we already mentioned sale transaction, SM59 RFC, it's mentioned there, ECC system name, and there in ECC side we also mentioned the card system name. So here go define sales history. You need to go here, sorry, not here. You need to define logical system. What is that? That is, here you need to mention a system ID, and you can say this is the system ID like your profile, like your business system in ECC, in DDF module, whatever we configure here. Like same way you need to mention a system ID. So that on that system ID contain all the configuration for your DDF module. So I'm just mention here 1002. You can give any name, it's your choice, just mention the here. And here is the logical system you need to put. What is the logical system? The name of your FMS or card system. Here is the name of our FMS system, so we need to check FMS system. I think this one, the FMS client 100, this one. Okay, now give any description like a DDF, sorry, module for car or anything. You can give any description. Now what is that? Master system. Yes, this SMS system is your master system, and you need to this checkbox check, because we replicate all the master data from FMS to our car. So it is true, like it is a master system. Now here you can say ERP client. Here then you have to give the name of the ERP. ERP means you can say that client, FMS client, you need to give that one. But generally it's not mandatory, you can leave it as blank. And we prefer this is 3, you can mandatory, you leave you can leave this blank. Whatever we mention here, it is mandatory, because when we mention our logical system setting or RFC connection, there we already mentioned the system client number and everything. And this is the MD system type, master data system type. This is default. If you are in, if you want to use connect your HANA system with DDF module, then you have to mention this one here. It's HANA or anything, but here is our, generally we use our ERP system as a master data. This is for S4 HANA, not HANA, you can say. So if you are going to use your S4 HANA, then you have to mention the S4 HANA system type. And also S4 HANA, you can say this logical system, you also have to mention for S4 HANA which one you are going to use. For here it is default, we don't need to do anything here, because it is true, whatever we mention here, this system will be chosen. A reference location, if you want to place any reference location for your HANA system, which location this system is, so you need to mention this one. Here we are not going to S4 HANA, so we have to leave it as blank. Our work is not with this area. If S4 HANA is connected with CAR, then you have to mention this reference location and all. And for that, we generally work with this way, like ECC, pause. Still, I'm not work with S4 HANA with CAR. I'm not work with on there that area, so I'm not confidently can tell you like this is the area you have to put this. But as per configuration, here we whatever like a FMS retail system is there, so we don't need to choose this one. This is done. We already mentioned our logical system here. Just save this. Now come back. Now you can see default values. Define default values. What is that? Here you need to mention your logical, whatever we just configure. Here you need to mention, or you can select this one, this value. Article ID, I don't have any idea on that. Also hierarchy ID, not article. So it's and generally we prefer it's as a blank. For what is the use of that area, I don't know. As when we configure, we leave it as blank. Now default currency, and for you can say if one we don't get any information, so that's why I can't tell you what is this area, what hierarchy IDs and all. Now currency,
Okay.
yeah, currency, like here which currency you are going to use for DDF module. So like I'm giving here like USD. Now what is the exchange rate type? What is that? Like your sales transaction, whatever we configure into our POS DTA, it is euro. That's why I'm choosing here USD. In POS DTA, can you remember we mentioned like currency type is euro, and
Yes, sir.
here, yeah. Now, so whenever POS puts the data, the sales data into your card system, so it's coming into currency will be euro there. Now, in DDF module, there is a requirement like you are going to use USD dollar, because the third application, whatever the third application like your hybrids or anything, there you are going to use USD. Now, how you can say how system will understand like sales data when you are going to use the sales data, the whichever the POS push to POS DTA and POS DTA push to your DDF module, it will contain euro. Now here you are going to use USD. Now how you manage this one? So you have to select the exchange rate type. What is that? We generally choose standard exchange rate type. So it will be exchange whatever the rate and anything, it will be take care by system. You don't need to do anything. So it will be taken care by system. And it will be like converted, you will be converted into USD with the exchange rate, whatever the like currency value and everything, it will be taken care by system. So if there is any scenario like this, then you need to choose exchange type rate. So you can say just 1 minute, I need to charge. Yeah, so you can say you need to mention this one if there is a scenario like this, like there's a type, you can say currency conflict between your sales and between DDF, then you have to mention this one. Now go back to here. All this field are basically when you are going to use merchandise planning of DDF module, and for that, like you have to mention hierarchy ID, month of your financial year. So you need to check all this with your retail person who configure merchandise category planning, category everything into ECC system. What is the ID? What is the month? You can say variant, financial year variant, weekly, monthly. What they mentioned there. So you need to check this one also. 12 means is 1 year. We generally selected for 12, but this is basically for merchandise planning, where we are going to use the module merchandise planning. So basically this one also you have to mention here, and you need to check your retail person what they have going to mention. So we just save it's blank, go back. Business week, define business week. What is that? You can say like you are going to implement your CAR DDF module from January 2018, and you prefer how your DDF module work, or like you need to mention the business week for the full year, how it will be picked the date, for weekend or weekdays, how the system will choose your sales from your post to your you can say DDF module, how system will know the, you can say you have to mention the business week. So we prefer, we have to mention first week of year. So you can say first week of year you need to check is 2017, 18 is Monday is you can say 1st January is Monday. So if you choose here 1st January is a Monday, if 1st January is any holidays, in if anything is there, so you need to select this one as a 2nd January. So system will calculate your whatever the data is coming, like working day from like business weekday starting from 2nd January 2018 to till your whatever you are going to use 2019, 20, 30, whatever the data will coming. But you have to mention the first implementation, whenever you going to implement first day of your business system. So you need to mention this one also. Yeah.
What should we mention in the first week of the year? First working day of the first week of the year, or just first calendar
First
day?
calendar.
First calendar day, yes?
First calendar, and it must be business day, working day. If it is Sunday, you need to remove this one. Working day, you can say.
I understand. First working day of the first week.
First week of working day. So here I remove 1st January because generally 1st January is not working for any organization. Maybe like this, maybe that organization will work on 1st January, then you have to choose this one. But you need to basically you need to select this one also. Now one more thing, if you are going to implement your CAR in June, July, then how you configure? Then also you need to select from January, not from July, because we count as a whole year, whole calendar. You can say it's a basis of calendar. So system will pick the data properly. You just need to mention first working day of that year. Whenever, whatever you are going to implement in mid of June, July, August, whenever, but you need to mention January first day, working
Okay.
day. Okay, so you are mentioning this one. Now go back. Sorry, back. Now you can see integration. You need to open integration part. Define import setting. What is that? Here you can see all these, whatever you can see here, all this will be the replication data, like a master data. It will be replicated from your whatever we configure into our ECC system. This data, this whatever, like you can say, forget about message type here, text, remember, inventory data, location, offer, product, this all this data we are replicated into our CAR system from ECC system. Now what happened? What is the use here? Now what happened? When we started replication data from your ECC to here, I'm prefer using FMS system. FMS system replicated all the data, to CAR system, started replication. Okay, so FMS push the data into your CAR system. Now when data start coming into your CAR system, it will first store some table, right? Somewhere it will be stored the product, article, whatever. It will store somewhere into a CAR, but before going into the final table, they store into staging table. We call this one staging table. So they stored first into staging table.
So staging table, is it a sort of temporary table?
Right, right. It's a, you can say it's a temporary table. Here we call staging table. Now you need to execute up standard program. Then after that, or you need to set the standard program in through background job. Then it will be then the data will be replicated into your final table. Now you are eligible to use the final table data. Now you are going to use for any third application. Now after store here, data here, you need to execute standard program. Standard SAP program is there. You need to execute this program. Then only it will be in your final table. Now, yeah.
And what standard program will you
there's a standard program. I will show you that parts also. What standard program we need to execute, and that I will give you the standard program name also. But before going into that standard program, there is an option like you don't want to execute this step, remove this step. You want to remove whenever staging table is there, like data is in your staging table, it will be directly into your final table.
So we can place data directly from FMI system to final table without any staging table, yes?
Right, but system, your data, we can't directly push to final table. First data stored into staging table, then it will be stored into final table. But you can choose bypass staging, bypass. You don't need to execute that portion, that standard program. You don't want to execute that program, so you need to check this box as a bypass tagging. Whenever you choose this box, so you don't need to execute the standard program. So what happened? Data come into your staging table. Now immediately it is in your final table, because data will be not directly will not store into your final table. First it will be stored like temporary, then immediately it will be stored into your final table. So when we choose this portion, bypass tagging. Bypass tagging means don't think like this portion will be removed. There is in between, there is no tagging table. Replication, then you can see final table. No, it will be first stored into here, but bypass tagging means you don't want to execute the program. You can directly, data can be directly in final. Okay.
And Dipali, can you say me what is the reason for using staging table if we can bypass this step?
Yeah.
When we need this staging table?
See, there is no use of, you can see there is no use of temporary table here. Even from my side, I never see there is any use of stacking table. But if I think if there is any use of future of stacking table, even I don't know what is the use of the stacking table, and why, if there is no use, why it is the bypass stacking table. I will check and will confirm you, because even I don't know what is the use of stacking table, temporary table. Why use this? Maybe in for future perspective, for any perspective, for performance perspective. Maybe we store the data in final table. That's why maybe some performance issue will be there. So that's why some you can say it's a properly CAR system, you can say property. We don't know what is the use of final use of tagging table. Maybe I think maybe for some performance issue will be high, that's why they use tagging and then final table they use. But meanwhile I will check this portion also, why the use of tagging table. Okay, and will inform you. But for
Okay,
my
thank you.
my working knowledge, I never see any use of this tagging table. If there is any for future, no, I can see anything with tagging table, any use of this tagging, unless and until it's maybe I'm wrong. It's my like view, you can say. Maybe some system performance issue will be there, that's why they use. I will check, I will raise the ticket to SAP also, what is the use of that, and will inform you. Okay. So you can bypass the buffering. Maybe here we can bypass this buffering. Can you hear me? Hello? Are you there? Hello? Are you there? Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes,
Yeah.
I can hear you. Something happened with the sound, and I didn't have option chat, so I even could not write you.
Yeah,
Something
I'm
happened.
same here. Same
I
here. That's why.
reconnected. Mhm.
Yeah, that's fine. Even same here. I can see the chat option. Can you see here?
Yes, I see a screen and I hear you. So let's
Okay.
continue.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
You spoke about that you don't know in which cases we need to
Yes.
use bypass
Yes.
table, and it's possible not to use staging table at all.
Yes, and for that, what is the use of stacking table? Because in real time, I didn't find anything. So I will raise a ticket to SAP regarding a stacking table, and will inform you the same if they give any answer.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Yeah. So go back, and whatever you can see, like next I just want to inform you this step, because for all this step, like here is the option define SAP BW application for this is for merchandise planning. What is that? If you are going to use your merchandise planning, you can say it's a module of DDF with your BIBW application, because here you can see the BIBW application also. So if you are going to use this one with merchandise planning, so you need to go this option, like you need to give the destination of BIBW system and the fiscal financial year variant, which variant you are going to use for merchandise planning. So you need to give this portion also. Here we are not using BIBW. You need to properly configure the BIBW system. You need to activate BIBW. There is some info provider for BW system if you are going to use merchandise planning. So for that, you need to do some extra step. If you are going to use the module merchandise category for DDF module, here you have to mention the destination of BIBW and the variant of merchandise planning. You need to check the variant with the retail, which they mention in retail, the financial year variant for merchandise planning. You need to mention this one. And before going into this one, you have to activate some info provider also for BIBW. And I already mentioned which one you need to activate in documentation. I have with screenshot. Same, whatever you can see, field mapping for merchandise. Here you can see the info provider name, which one you need to have to use for your merchandise planning. So you need to check this one also. And here you can see all the technical field name with the info provider detail. But before that, before the version of 2.0, this is 3.0. Here they already mentioned here, but before 2.0 it was not mentioned here. You have to manually mention each and everything here, all this detail, whatever the store plan. But this, all these are for merchandise planning with BIBW. So you need to activate this one info provider, and then you have to mention this one if you are going to implement BIBW with merchandise planning. Now,
do we have a BW system in our landscape now?
no, we don't have.
So we will not perform this configuration, yes?
Yeah, I can show you this one. But in documentation part, I already mentioned. And here you can see you don't need to do anything. Everything is mentioned here. All this will be used for your merchandise category planning. Sorry, if you are going to use merchandise planning for DDF module, then all these are mentioned here. You don't need to do anything. You just need to activate the info provider. You need to check it's properly mentioned in the system. And one more thing, you just need to mention the BIBW system here. You need to configure, not configure, you need to mention the system detail in sale transaction, the system BIBW system detail there. Whatever you mention for ECC here, you need to mention for BIBW also. And I will provide the documentation also. You no need to think about this one. It will be like additional, you can say, for merchandise category. So I already told you there is some step you need to do for merchandise or UDA. This is the extra step. And sending system and master data system coupling. What is that? If you go here, you need to mention this one. Like if you're going to use forecast for UDA, assortment planning, allocation, distribution curve. I don't know what is distribution curve. This is purely retail type something. If they are going to use distribution curve, then you need to mention there, and from where the distribution curve or assortment planning are coming from, you need to mention the sender system also, as well as the master data system. Like here you have to mention the DDF system detail. DDF system means the CAR system detail, and also the master data system, like from where the master data coming from. The master data coming from the ECC system or BIBW system, you need to check from here. And one more thing, what is HTTP destination? If you are going to use hybrid marketing, then you need to mention here the HTTP destination, because for hybrids we generally mention HTTP destination, not ABAP type destination in SM59. So you need to mention this one here. So is all this basically for requirement, which one we are going to use. Like if you are going to use UDF, this is here. Price management, then you have to mention offer, assortment planning, then you have to mention here. And the distribution curve also you are going to use, then you have to mention here. And you have to mention here the sending system and the master data system. Master data system means your ECC system. Now sending ECC or BW maybe. Now sending system means like your CAR system, and to where you are going to sending. Like your destination system name. Like here for our scenario, we will mention our CAR system, but if you are going to use hybrids, then you need to mention the STP destination also. This is the requirement of, you can say, addition new entries, or you can say sending and master data system detail you need to put here. Here again you can see, if you are going to use BI system, then also you need to mention the ID for your BI system and the ID for your master data system. Here master data system is your ECC system, because all the master data coming from there, and this is for BI system. So you need to check all this. If you are, this is simply like if you are going to use BIBW, then you with CAR or DDF, then you have to mention this one. You have to configure this one also. It's basically based on requirement. But in real, like I'm giving a real-time scenario, we prefer POS, CAR, ECC, PI, hybrids, generally doing this one. If maybe there is some requirement you will face with BIBW, they want BIBW, you need to activate, then you need to do all this step for DDF module. You need to mention the BIBW system, then you need to connect BIBW with CAR system. So you need to do all this step.
Deeply, and will these steps be mentioned in the documentation?
Yes. I just
okay.
After like finishing this configuration, I will send you all this. Like I have proper documentation. Like just click and everything will be mentioned there. Like here, I think it will be there. Let me check. I already opened this one. Let me. Yeah, it is. See this one. Like let me down. And this is for standard documentation, and I already created like from my side also using with screenshot, but this is standard documentation. Here you can see the module UDF, OPP, APR, MPR, PMR, all this mentioned above. If you are going to implement only UDF, then you need to sorry, configure all this. Just click on that. You can see each and everything. Here's you can see no picture is here, but in my document I already attached some picture also, screenshot you can say. Okay. So it will be very easy for you. If there's any requirement, you just need to understand which requirement you are going to implement for DDF module. Then you can go with that module with step-by-step configuration. Nothing is extra. Okay, and maintain RFC mapping. For that, you need to maintain. You have to find the application, same like whatever the application you are going to implement, assortment planning, allocation, distribution, whatever we already see, you need to mention a sender system like your car system name. Then your you have to mention the RFC destination between sender and receiver. Here receiver means your hybrids or any other system, because now you are going to use your this application for third application, for any third application. So you have to mention this RFC connection, and you need to connect your, I'm taking an example with your hybrids with car. You need to first connect through SM59. You need to set a RFC connection. Then you are going to push the data. You are going to use the whatever any one you are going to use for your hybrids. So you need to mention this RFC connection also. So this is generally based on requirement you need to prefer, and obviously for system detail you need to check system connected properly or not. Now go to organization data. Organization data, whatever we maintain here, it is for all module, all 5 module. What is that?
This branch of settings is necessary, yes?
Yes. Yes.
All modules. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is a necessary setting for all 5 module. It is a mandatory setting. So organization data means we already know the sales organization, distribution, chain, channel, purchasing organization. These are called organization data. And one more thing, you need to check in your ECC system, your FMS system, which sales organization they are used. Here, I'm opening here. Here I'm going to use UF4. We already mentioned the logical system, this one. Now here I'm going to maintain sales organization. Which one we are going to? Here you can see nothing is there. Why? Because whatever we going to F4 here, it is coming from your HANA system. So it will not come from your HANA system properly, not configured, data is not content. That's why it's not show you any data. But here you can mention manually also, because yeah, but in previous when we are assign our multi-channel to your sales organization, we can't assign it manually put here. So I am taking here sales organization as SO1, description sales org. Now see system, choose your manual entry. And for your easy selection, you can F4 this value, and you need to choose which one, which sales organization you are going to use for DDF module. So,
excuse me, if I understand you correctly, first of all, we need to perform a data replication with help of SLT server, and then we can see a list of sales organization. Am I right?
Into your HANA Studio, where you need to, yeah, then you can see. But one more thing, here you can see your manual entry is chosen. Okay. Manual, I am not selecting SO1 from F4. I am selecting here from manual, giving manual entry. So it's not mandatory, like you need to mention to HANA Studio, because you can say for DDF module, HANA Studio is not important. They are not access, DDF module will not access the HANA Studio. It is not important. Where it's a part of your car system, application bundle, DDF module. That's why you can see the data from your F4. But you need to mention here manually. You can mention here manually, but for your easy choice, you can see just F4 and you can select this one. But one more thing, for multi-channel, it is mandatory. For POSD, it is mandatory HANA table, HANA views, content data. So you can select it manually, and whatever SO0 you are going to use, it will be in your ECC system. Just save this. Back. Same way, distribution channel 1002, I think. Oh, I forgot to mention the distribution channel. New entries 1001. Sorry. 1002. Then distribution channel 01.
Excuse me, logical system ID 1002. Yes.
Yeah, because we already configured this one 1002.
Okay.
Okay, so this one same way, and you need to check all these are maintained into your ECC properly. Chain you need to mention. One, I think I've missed something. Let me check again. Yes. Go back. Distribution chain. Yes. Distribution chain. 1002. This one.
And what is distribution chain?
All these are, you can see, like master data, like where you are going to for each and every organization data, like for sales organization we need to maintain this, all basically for sales and distribution SD data, you can see. So where you are going to mention distribution chain, distribution channel, so all these are standard master data for sales and distribution, where when you are going to implement your sales and distribution, all this you have to mention under SPRO. So this is our standard data, and like channel chain whatever it is, basically choose by when we are going to implement our business grouping. On that time we need to find out the data which we are going to use, like sales organization, which sales organization we are using. Sales organization means you can say the name of the organization, it's a place where sales will be happen. Same way, distribution channel division means which there's a different division, so which division we are going to use, which part of the organization we are going to use for sales and distribution. And channels means which channels, I don't have proper idea of channels. You can see like which way we are going to use our sales and distribution. So we need to define this portion from your ECC first. You need to define this, all this in ECC part, and it is basically SPRO configuration and master data configuration, you can see. So sorry, currency here you need to mention, you need to check which currency you are going to use. Sales org, sorry, SO1. Distribution channel, okay, distribution channel I already mentioned, I think. Distribution chain. You already mentioned all this. Now
Okay.
go back. All this is master data, so you need to check with your retail person who configure retail or FMS. This is for sales and distribution master data. Now come into purchase organization, and this is for purchasing related data. So you same way you need to check with your ECC system, and all this is master data are mentioned into ECC system. PO1 purchase org. And last you have to mention purchasing group. So organization data is maintained for your all 5 modules. Done. Now purchasing group. Group also you need to find which group they are using. Save, back. Now you are successfully setting all this, you can say, but organization data, everything. Now you can say your you are completed mostly of the configuration of your DDF module. I am give you the generic configuration or mandatory configuration for all module. And if you're going to here open data maintenance, here you can see define time series source. What is that? If you select new entries, here you can see four checkbox here. Now I will tell you what is this. Time series means, I already told you, here you have to remember time series means your sales data. Like here this scenario, our sales data coming from POS system. Maybe you are using any other system. Here you are like a hybrid system or any other system. So you need to check from where your maybe BIBW system, the sales data coming from your BIBW system also. It will also possible, like BIBW collected some sales data from some sources, and it will be posted into your DDF module. I'm talking about DDF module system. So you need to check which what is the way you are getting the POS data, POS sales data. And here our scenario is POS push the data into your CAR system. If this is your scenario, then you need to select this one, VDM point of sales.
What does it mean, VDM? Something virtual or
virtual data model, VDM. Yeah. So virtual data model, we generally talking about HANA Studio, CAR data virtually access the HANA Studio and POS push the data. So VDM point of sales means CAR get the CAR. Here I'm talking about CAR. CAR collect the sales data from your any POS system. So if this is the scenario, then CAR puts the data into DDF. We need to configure some extra into POSDT also for DDF. Now, when this is the scenario, point of sales data. What is the scenario? When this is the scenario, when your you can say POS system directly pulls the data into DDF module, not into your CAR, then CAR pulls the data into DDF. Then you need to select the point of sales data, this checkbox. Now VDM sales order. When CAR get the sales order also from any sources, if CAR collect the sales order also and push the sales order into your DDF module, then you need to select this checkbox. And if consume system like BIBW or any other system who consume the data first from your POS DTA, push the data into BIBW, I'm giving a scenario, then BIBW push the data into DDF module. If this is a scenario, then you need to check the checkbox. So you have to select which checkbox you need to check. But based on our scenario, we need to select VDM point of sales, virtual data model. But why? What is virtual data model? CAR is a virtual data model. Why? Because it's virtually access the data of HANA Studio. That's why we call CAR as a VDM. Okay. So here, this is our scenario. Did you got this?
Not very clear. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll read documentation, and if I will have questions, I will ask you next time, because I'm not sure I understood this correctly.
Sure. So next time we will again discuss the next session on that 4 option, like time series option. This option we will discuss. Now you can say our configuration from DDF module perspective is completed. Now before that, going into any other one, and basically other option, like if you are going to use any inventory type of data, offer type of data, all these are optional. And you need to I have documentation this one. If there is any, like if there is you want to import the image also, so which step you have to follow. You want, like for per product, per article, the image also so side by side, image also replicate. How it will possible? How, from where you'll be push the image from card to any third application? That also I mentioned in documentation. You have to mention through MIME object for image. So base all these are depend on requirement, but whatever we configured, it is mandatory for any module, else are optional. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So here you can say our DDF module mandatory configuration done from our ECC as well as CAR system also. Next, I will show you where we have to configure our POS DTA configuration and how we start the data replication. How we start. Okay, I will execute the DRF out, and where you have to monitor here, which table, the standard program name, that you have to, if there is an option like if forgot to choose bypass buffering, then which program you have to execute. This portion I will show you in next session, like tomorrow. Okay, but configuration side, we are perfect from configuration side. Now we have to go back to ECC. I will execute the DRF out, and I will show you where in CAR system you can monitor the data. Okay, and table name also.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we'll do it for the tomorrow session.
Okay. So see you tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, see you tomorrow then.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Bye.